Hello everyone and welcome to a new little video series here on this YouTube channel. Some might know this series for a year or so. I posted some questions on Twitter every week where I want to highlight a topic and get some answers to questions and see what the community thinks about this question. Now I think about taking us one step further and taking it up a notch with having a YouTube video as well, more or less to just bring more attention to the question and the topics, maybe create more discussion, but also to showcase what I believe and what I feel about the topics. The first question is, should maps be 100% unknown for TrackMania events? And the reason for me bring this up is when the map pack for Gaming WinterFest, which is being played the 2nd and 3rd of March, there was a map that was unknown, or at least had been showcased in a video along with having streaming sessions on that map. Map is Getaway by Buzzy, and it had been showcased in the tracks you will never seen in a professional tournament by Shorts, I believe, TrackMania Pro League Season 3 edition. So the maps was built for TrackMania Pro League Season 3, but ended up being picked for Gaming WinterFest. And the reason for this being a topic, I believe, and maybe some people not liking it, is because I believe the history of TrackMania you have. Everybody knows that the map should be unknown, and everybody knows it at the same time with a map release. It sounds fair and it sounds the right way to do it, simply because now everybody has the same chance of testing the maps and knowing the maps and the same amount of hours to train on the maps. But for me, this brings up the question, should maps be unknown by the public, and should mappers not be allowed to stream their maps? And I believe if you look at the pros and cons of having, let's say, unknown maps for events, you can say that a pro and a benefit for the tournaments is that you get more attention drawn into the release date, and having the players stream their first impression of the maps and sort of experience it alongside with the viewers. You had for Gaming WinterFest, I believe Scotty streamed it, Massa, I believe, Spam, and Symbiotes. So you can see already that players are streaming their first impression and their training sessions once the map is released. And this way it brings attention to the more casual viewers who might just follow the streamers instead of following what events is coming up. And then the pros will, as a consequence of this, will this bring more attention to the event overall, or would they bring more attention if you allow the mappers to actually stream and build maps for this event by showcasing it on their stream and then hyping it up? And if you look at the cons for having unknown maps, the obvious one for me is that you then don't allow the map builders to stream it, of course, and not highlight their building skills. And I believe if you had allowed mappers to actually build this competitive maps on stream, you would then allow people who are not as experienced in mapping learning from the best mappers in the game. I believe Kaisla said that if he could stream his competitive map buildings, he will probably be a lot more active, because 80% or so of the maps he builds are for competitive events. And I believe there are many more with him that just have fun with building maps for the biggest event and hope that they're being picked. And that way, if they want to stream a map building session, they have to build something else for TMX, MX, or just for fun. And that might not be as hard or as complicated, and you don't really get to know why they think like they do, or why they pick the tracks or the trajectories for the maps that they do. So eventually the community will earn and benefit from mappers being more known and having their sessions more known. And community can of course then ask them questions, why you do this, why you do that, and so on. And then again, I believe that it brings more attention actually to the event if you allow people or the mappers to say what events they build maps for. Let's say, okay, I'm having this streaming session now, I'm trying to build a maps that is hopefully accepted by, let's say, Gaming WinterFest. Then people who follow that stream will see, okay, Gaming WinterFest is coming up, he's building these maps. Let's hope it gets picked, and then you have a different mentality going into the map build or map release. Of course, you won't know every map because not every map builder is a streamer or care about having the streaming session. But then you go in, okay, what maps are being picked, and I hope this map is being picked. So more of an expectation and a hope that some of the maps are being picked, alongside of course having this unknown view of it. And then an argument for having maps 100% unknown will be that of course then everybody will have the same amount of training, and some will benefit if they see a streamer stream the map building, and then they can train it because they can expect that that map is being picked. Let's say that you have 10 streamers and each of them build 2 maps for each event. Then as a player you have to play 20 maps and then take into account that there are other maps being sent in just to get a small benefit, and in the end you might not get a benefit because you can end up with none of the maps being picked. So I still don't believe that you get a competitive advantage of having the maps known and allowing people to train if they see a map or play a map and so on. I guess it doesn't come down to this, it's more maybe a professional look that everybody should have the same amount of training, knowledge should know, and so on. But I think it's time to change that up, and if nobody else does it, the next man versus man I host, I don't care about it. You can stream it if you wanna stream the building session, bring attention to your map building session, bring attention to my event, and help the community by learning the way you think, and that way get a more educated community in the map building session. And this is a way of rewarding and building up map builders. I tried to have this 25 euros, which ended up being 50 euros for the best maps in the man versus man. I just got 14 maps, so I guess I have to do something else to bring more attention to the mappers, and this is a way for me at least to test it out. But then again, I am just a guy who doesn't play the game. I host some events here and there, and I cover events and share my opinion about events. But it all comes down to what does the player think, what does the mapper think, and what does other event organizers think. Feel free to tell me in the comment section below, and if you don't wanna sort of have a debate, you can simply go on Twitter to just press yes, no, don't care, and so on. And tell me if you like this video series. I'll do it more or less weekly, hopefully on Mondays, depends on how blue that Monday is, and if that Monday is really blue like yesterday, it will be on Tuesdays. And one last thing, shout out to S who has made this overlay for both this series and the podcast is coming up, and another series which is called TrackMania News, and then another one again. So 2019 is kicking off, and hope you are ready for it. So yeah, tell me what you think and what you feel about this topic, and if you want to see more of these videos. Bye bye.